So finally, after a long wait, the Honkai Star Rail developers confirmed that they are going to start buffing old units. Now they didn't say when exactly they are going to do it, but they said that they will do it. So today we are going to talk about it, and I would love to hear your opinion about it in the comments section below. Now before we start, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell beside it to stay notified with everything new about Honkai Star Rail, and without any further ado, let's just get started. So, as we all know, the Honkai Star Rail developers already confirmed that they are going to buff old characters. Now, usually there are two different ways to buff characters. Some games like to just buff the multipliers and the basic stats of the character and make it to where it basically matches the current meta, so that they would be able to deal enough damage and tank enough damage in order to be able to be usable in the current meta. Other games like to go directly into the kit of the character and change that. Some of them change some stuff, some of them completely overhaul the entire kit and make it a completely new character. So what are the Honkai Star Rail developers going to do? In my opinion, they are most likely going to do basically a combination of two different things. The first one is obviously they are going to buff the multipliers and the stats of the character, because I don't think that any amount of rework of the kit without buffing the multipliers and the basically basic stats of the characters in Honkai Star Rail is going to be beneficial enough. So I think that they are definitely going to buff the multipliers and the basic stats of the characters, and then they are also going to go into the kit, but they won't rework it as a whole, but they will just add some stuff to it. So let us for example take Seele. If we go to her basically traces here, you can see that her talent Resurgence is basically going to give her an extra damage 40% if she is capable of killing a character and gaining an extra turn. So this 40% could become something permanent in her talent. Regardless whether she kills the enemy or not, she just gained that 40% upon entering the battle, and she just keeps it, not for one turn, but she just simply keeps it. That is a change that they could do to her talent. Another change is basically allowing her to keep this buff for multiple turns instead of just one turn. If they don't make it something permanent in her basically talent, they can just make it so that she would keep it for 3 turns, 4 turns, or something like that. They could also increase the multiplier, as we said, and maybe make it from 40 to 80 or maybe 100%. That is also a thing that they can do. And then after that, they could also add some other abilities that would make this talent better. For example, if they make her capable of reducing the enemy defense, or be able to reduce basically the enemy toughness regardless of the element of the enemy, whether they are weak to quantum or not, she is going to be able to reduce their toughness. That is another change that they could add to the talent. If we go for example to the ultimate here, as you can see, her ultimate is so short, it's ridiculous. Like seriously, it's just one line. It just enters the buffed state and deals quantum damage equal to 255% of Seele's attack to a single enemy. Now one thing they could do immediately here is obviously increase this 255 to maybe 355 or 455 to make the ultimate deal more damage, or they could be more creative and maybe make her ultimate reduce the toughness of the enemy regardless of their element. So that is going to be another change. Or they could also make her break defense, reduce basically damage reduction, or increase her damage even more. Maybe gain a buff that is going to increase her overall damage by 40%, 50% or something like that. So these are the changes that they could do basically to the kit of the character itself, which are going to effectively increase the usability of the character, which is what we need from these buffs. So as I said before, they could either go for the basic stats and multipliers, or they could go for a combination of the kit and the basic stats and multipliers, which is going to be way better in my opinion, and it is going to make basically the characters way more usable in the meta. Now obviously they won't make the character that is basically being buffed outshine the character that they are just releasing. Obviously they want to sell you the new characters. Yes, they want to sell you the old characters as well, but they are going to want to sell you the new character more than the old character, because the old character is already owned by multiple players, and many players aren't going to summon for her even if she is good, because they already have her, and therefore they are going to make them a little bit underwhelming in terms of comparison with the new characters, but they could make them extremely useful in the meta as well. In case you don't have the shiny new unit, you still can use the old units and be able to clear everything in the meta. So this is what I am hoping for. I hope that they aren't going to touch the Eidolons at all, because this is basically pay to win, and if they do touch the Eidolons, this is going to be basically buffing pay to win characters, nothing else. And this isn't going to be beneficial for the absolute majority of the players, and therefore I am hoping that they aren't going to touch the Eidolons at all, but rather they would only basically focus on the basic stats, the multipliers and the traces. This is all that they need to focus on to buff the characters in the correct way, to make basically everyone happy and be able to use their characters, their old characters that they love, as good as possible. So this is my opinion about it. I would love to hear your opinion about it in the comments section below. To me, the characters that I am mostly hyped for are actually Seele, Welt, Himiko and Bronya. And then there is also General Jingyuan. I think that these characters are extremely hype and I can't wait for them. I would love to hear your opinion about who you are waiting for as well in the comments section below. Which character are you hyped for to get buffed? It would be incredibly insane if somehow they actually buff all of the regular 5-star characters like Welt, Bronya, Himiko, Gepard, Yanqing and Bailu. If they do actually buff all of them at the same time, since they are regular 5-star characters, it would be absolutely ridiculous. But we will see what they would do. I can't wait for Seele specifically, because she is basically one of my most favorite characters in the game, and it would be really nice to see her again in the game, being usable in the meta. Either way, as I said before, this is my opinion about it, and I would love to hear your opinion about it in the comments section below. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell beside it to stay notified with everything new about Honkai Star Rail. And with that being said, see you as always in the next video.